a kid's guide to coronavirus.
ASDB schools are like any other right now.
We're making a bunch of videos to help you with your questions. I'm sure you've noticed schools are closed down and you have been staying home a lot more.
Students and staff who had hoped to return to classrooms are instead learning from home, and they want desperately to be back.
We're all longing for that day when we can see the faces and hear those voices and see those smiles.
Kelly Creasy is the principal at the State Schools for the Deaf and the Blind's Tucson campus. In June, she was optimistic students could return this month. She explained how her relatively small batch of students, less than 200 each year, made it easier to ensure kids would be safe. But so much has changed since June. The state released guidelines and a 3-part test for reopening. School leaders can still choose to reopen, and some have, but not Creasy. Not entirely, anyway. Usually, about 40 students actually live at her Tucson campus. Unlike other schools in the area, Creasy's served students from every corner of the state. Families were given the option to return if they lacked access to internet service.
Being here is going to be a little different. We have them clustered into their dorms, so essentially we're creating our own bubbles for each of the groups. So we'll use 4 dorms, and they'll just stay within their dorm. Staff will just be assigned to that dorm to work so that we keep it as safe as possible.
And visually impaired students will learn how to keep a safe distance from their friends and teachers, even if they can't see them.
One of the things we talked about with our visually impaired students is what is 6 feet. And so we talked about getting a mop or a broom that you have in your home and holding one end and having a family member on the other. That's about 6 feet. And so hearing what that voice sounds like as it gets closer to you.
The rest of Creasy's students received laptops, braille tools, even Wi-Fi hotspots if they were requested.
Oh, she dropped something.
Oh, okay. I was like, she's leaving. See you later.
Amelie Morales has been receiving materials from her teacher at the Phoenix Day School for the Deaf all summer. She started class online last week. It helps that she knows and rather likes her teacher, Stephanie Voss, even if the connection isn't perfect on Zoom.
He froze.
And I don't think our internet is set up to handle all of the teachers on Zoom at the same time.
Yeah.
Amelie's mom, Laura Morales, says something is clicking for her daughter.
A light bulb just went off and she's just been blowing up in language. I've always signed to Amelie, and it's just like she was just signing so much, and I'm just like, whoa. And where did that come from?
Not every student has a parent who can use ASL like Morales, or a family that is totally comfortable with letting visually impaired students get around on their own. Some have been deeply affected by the pandemic. Creasy says some lost loved ones or members of their communities.
Some of them are coming back from the reservations and feel like this may be a safer place right now. And, that first couple of weeks or so, everybody, whether they're here on campus or we're seeing them via Zoom, we're going to be really paying attention to how they're doing and what other supports can we provide to that student and their family.
And so much of that falls to the teachers.
We threw together materials and tried to get those into the hands of families. And then we just had to try and take what we usually do and figure out how that could be done on Zoom in a way that was meaningful still for young students.
That's Stephanie Voss. She sent Amelie and her 5 other deaf students activity packets to keep them learning after schools shut down. But these are key years for them to develop language skills, and she's worried.
With 3- and 4-year-old deaf children, sitting in front of a computer is not the best way to learn. We have such a limited time for all students to gain language. So it's very stressful for me to think that 1 whole year of their early childhood language development years could be online.
For now, the school year is not what everyone was hoping for, but they're trying. And parents like Morales are finding hope in their children.
I can finally say I am good enough, I can finally say I believe in myself. I think I am capable. I can do this,
Katie Campbell, KJZZ News, Phoenix.